prior to tracking the speed of the lead, we had like a 42 to 45% appointment set rate on our digital lead sources. And then we had like a between 10 and 12% on the lead aggregators. So since we've tracked that now, we're setting like between 30 and 32% on lead aggregators, and we're setting around 65% of our regular digital sources.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Build to Win podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jonathan Weinberg. I'm here as always with John Kolbaska, and this is our first recording of the new year, 2026. And we thought we would chat a little bit about, for each of us, how end of the year wrapped up.
We, just got back from vacation there with the family, spent a week in Universal Studios there.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the weather down there in Florida. So how about you? You went on a vacation there at the end of the year, correct?
We did a little few days in Vermont, a little ski trip with the family, and just over Christmas, and it was nice. We had a really good time. Everybody got sick before, and then I got sick right after, but everybody was healthy for the time we were there, so that was good.
There's a nasty flu going around. My daughter and my wife, they got sick out there in Universal, but they toughed it out. They were troopers. Yeah. That thing didn't bite me or my son. So luckily, we were all in a room together. So they're coughing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get sick. But no, apparently I did well. So we enjoyed that. Enjoyed the warm weather, and then we're back here now. 2026 is upon us, right? And here we go.
So yeah, how did everything wrap up for you at the end of the year for Windows and Doors by the Men with Tools?
Yeah, no, everything wrapped up. We're slightly a little under plan. That last year was a difficult year for I would imagine for most people. There were some things there in the economy that contributed to that. How can I put this without offending anybody that may listen? You have to watch what you say. We had to part ways as friends with a few of our longer term employees, just because we felt like the company had grown past them. Like I've heard people say sometimes the people that get you there won't get you there or to the next phase. So we felt like we had grown stagnant. So we removed 2 key management positions in the summer of last year. Basically fired the whole call center but one person who was a new hire that we had hired on to be the call center manager in training. So we had a call center manager when we made this hire, and we fired him and the whole staff, him and 6 of them. And we left her in there probably with about 2 weeks worth of training. Fired the marketing director. Yeah. So I had to jump in there in July, myself and Brandon, who works with me. And we had to jump in there, and we had to turn the department completely over, hire new people, develop training manuals and stuff like that. And that was a large fire that Brandon and myself were able to put out. But the company culture is much better now. It was actually growing. It was actually growing to be a bit toxic in there.
Yeah. It's really, really tough when you have to. Sometimes you get some talented people, and it's tough decisions that just have to be made to get to that next step and make sure you've got the right company culture, because that's more important than everything else.
Yeah, we turned that over pretty quickly. 90 days, it was completely turned over, fully staffed. It was fully staffed within 3 weeks, but we felt.
But I'm sure there was still some blip in the numbers, right? I mean, there was impact, and I know you had some sales management.
Luckily for me, I had some flexibility because we have 2 showrooms. It's another thing we did last year too. We went with a staffless showroom concept in our North Jersey location. But my mother works for me in the Staten Island location, so she's been comfortable working the phones. She's been doing that for a couple of years with me, so we were able to kind of just pivot her a little bit, have her answer all the inbound. We had enough people to handle the inbound. It was just developing the outbound stuff, and that took a few weeks. But we're rocking and rolling. We felt like even though there was a short-term pain, that it was going to be better in the long run. So long-term gains, and we are seeing that now. Focusing on speed to lead. That's the number one metric we now measure in the call center is how quickly are you getting on the phone with the customer after the lead has been submitted into Build a Prime? And
Right. And that's from your digital sources, right? I mean, that's yeah. So
digital
from
sources, lead aggregators, yes, yes, anything
yeah,
that's not calling in, anything that hits the database there in lead received.
yeah.
How quickly do we call it? And we track that. It's a daily report, and we share that with the team, and we expect that to be 1 minute or less. And it's actually funny because when we had first started to track that back in September, the speed to lead was 43 minutes.
Yeah.
43 minutes.
Yeah.
So we weren't aware of that. That's just something we had to track outside of Build a Prime. I don't believe you guys track that yet, but you will be soon, correct?
Yeah. That's we're working on that right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you got a bunch of really cool AI-based reportings and features coming out soon,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We get a
Yep.
right to release that here, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Where
yeah,
it's a not a very well kept secret, but
yeah.
yeah, we're
So
working on
nevertheless, I mean, Build a Prime tracks it, right? So when the client, the date and the time it's created, right? And then when you place a call, it tracks that also. So we pull that data out. I have a a tech guy that handles that, basically a computer scientist. He pulls it out and then he puts it into a custom report so we can see that. So when I had hired him, these are some of the custom reports we created. And like I said, it was the average speed to lead was 43 minutes. Now it's hovers between 30 and 50 seconds, depending on the week.
And you were, I think we talked about this on maybe on a previous episode, or we were just chatting about it, but it was when you noticed a difference, even going from what more than 3 minutes to under 3 minutes. And then, of course, the more you go, the faster you get, it gets even better in terms of getting them on the phone, contact rates, and appointment set rates, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So our appointment set rate. So we track two different sources for appointment set rate. We track our regular like digital leads, and then we track lead aggregators separately, right?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
typically lead aggregators, they set at a lower rate for a
Yeah.
bunch of different reasons that we won't go into for now. But prior to tracking the speed of the lead, we had like a 42 to 45% appointment set rate on our digital lead sources, right?
Uh-huh.
And then we had like a between 10 and 12% on the lead aggregators. So since we've tracked that now, we're setting like between 30 and 32% on lead aggregators, and we're
Wow.
setting around 65% of our regular digital sources. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
same opportunities that are coming in raw leads, because we already had the money budgeted, right? So it's not like we increased our budget. So we have the raw leads coming in, but we're setting many more now. So,
Yeah.
and I just think, man, oh, if I would have discovered that at the beginning of last year, I probably would have had probably a couple hundred to 1,000 more actual appointments, leads issued. And I'd gone all the way up to this point, middle of 2025, actually later in 20, I think it was September when we did that. So the first 8, 9 months. And then all years passed. Never, I mean, I've heard people talk about it, speed the lead. And then, yeah, it's great. Like, but if you don't have a way to track and measure it, you can't really hold them accountable, right? So
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
say we expect you to call with, under a minute, and they would assure us that they were doing it. Now we have the actual data. So it's right there in front
It's
of us.
funny. I go on Reddit sometimes, and I was looking at a thread, in one of the kind of the home improvement subreddits, and somebody's asking about, does speed to lead and getting there like super fast within 5 minutes actually even make a difference?
You mean speed to
And
appointment? Speed to appointment?
no, speed to lead.
Oh,
To
your speed to lead.
does it actually make a difference in
Yep.
setting appointments? And yeah, I mean, obviously the answer is yes, it does. You got a whole bunch of people saying no, that's bullshit. You don't need to reach out so fast, and if they're not answering the phone, they were never serious to begin with, and all of this kind of it's how do you convince some of these people, and you want to help and kind of show them the light that this is such a huge important factor in the success of your business, right? I mean, this can make a huge difference in your business. Do you want it? Like, eh, do you want to make more money? Do you want to serve more customers? And do you believe that you're the best person to serve these customers? it's just it's silly, and I don't know how that mindset, how to change that mindset with certain people. I think I don't know if you can. It's holds so many people back.
When they fired the previous call center, our overall across all lead sources appointment set rate was 41%.
Okay, across
41%.
all lead sources, not
All
just
lead sources.
digital.
Yeah,
This
we had a
includes digital, includes lead
41%.
aggregators.
We had a 41% appointment set rate. So
Yeah.
for every 100 opportunities that would come in to lead received, we would book 41 of them, right? And now I will use September. Our overall appointment set rate was 59%. So
Yeah.
18% lift.
It's 18% added on, but really that's like a 50% boost, right? I mean, if you were
Yeah.
it's a 50% boost in a number of
41. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at 18 more. Yeah. You're looking at,
almost
maybe yeah, like
18 out of
45.
41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come on, you're the math guy, buddy. You're better at that. I can't pull up a calculator right now, but it's significant, right? So, if I just look at last year, just look at the raw opportunities, right? Pulling this report right now, it takes a second because it's pulling a lot of data here, data on Build a Prime. But if you just look at like a 30% lift, let's just say conservatively, if I would have got 30%, set 30% more of the, I'm sorry, 18% more of the leads.
Hmm.
Last year I had 6,010 opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah. And we said 38% of them.
And when did you make the change? Like when did everything start? When did the shift happen?
September.
September is when it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. In September. We actually went up in October and November because we were starting to, train and develop and stuff like that. So let me just even go back and just look at last month, right? Just, I mean, the numbers, the overall volume of leads is down. In December of 2025, we had a 56% appointment set rate.
56%.
Yeah.
Okay, so like 16. There's basically let's just
41 in June when I let everybody
16%.
go. And believe it or not, that was one of their better numbers. Let's look at this month, January 2026 so far. We're at 56%.
Yeah.
So going back to last year at the 41% in June. I mean, the point we're making here is, let's look at May. The point we're making here is by making that one change and focusing on the speed, the lead, it made a significant impact in the amount of appointments we set.
I just did a real quick calculation. If you had been doing that from the beginning of the year, that likely would have resulted in 675 appointments that you
Yeah.
didn't set.
And you sell a third of them. So that's 225 more appointments at $13,000 or 13.5. It's a lot of money.
It's
Yeah, but the good thing is that we know moving forward now what to pay
yeah.
attention to, right? Sometimes it's just knowing, and you just discover these things. Sometimes it just takes a moment. So May of last year, my appointment set rate overall 36%. So it was 41% in June, and let me just look. Let me just look at April because it was pretty bad. No matter how much I drove, actually April wasn't bad. It was 45%. But,
Hmm.
March, let's say March, I mean, last year it was just bad from the appointment setting perspective.
Right.
March was 28% appointment set rates.
Ooh. Yeah.
So, yeah. So again, you go from 43 minutes average, speed to lead from the moment we get a client and lead received to the moment we
Less than
call 'em.
one.
It was incredible. I mean, 43 minutes.
Is this something that you're still focused on improving further now, or is this like this isn't a good spot? We're going to move on.
We focus on it every day. I mean, we look at from the call center, we look at speed to lead, we look at speed to appointment, and we look at booking rate.
Hmm.
That's really what we're looking at. Those three numbers. That's
What is
the
booking rate? What do you mean? What do you mean by that when you say that?
booking rate is how much of our daily calendar is filled up with an appointment. So if
Got
we
it. Yeah.
have, 12 spots available today, how much of that was filled up? Because, they're usually staying within, again, speed to appointment, 72 hours. We like to do same day, next day.
Sure.
Okay. But sometimes the next day stuff goes on, and then you call to confirm it. It doesn't confirm. It cancels. It falls off. You want to be able to pull stuff in and actively concentrate on,
Yeah.
your 10 a.m., your 2 p.m., and your 6 p.m. You want 100% booking rate because for every one of those that you miss, you have to look at your NSLI. That's what that's worth, right?
Right.
If your company NSLI is like ours last year was $4,100. If I miss a 10 a.m. and it's available, the company basically lost $4,100. That's
Right.
a lead issue, right? So
Yep.
we want 100. We want 100% booking rate.
Do
That's
you overbook? Will you overbook appointments?
we do. We typically overbook by one or two. Yep. And then if for whatever reason something doesn't fall off, we'll move stuff around. We'll give people a gift card to go to the next day and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll give them a
Yeah.
$50 Amazon gift card. We learned that from Megan Beatty. Who,
I think I remember hearing Tony Hoodie talk about that on stage at one point. Yeah, Megan and Tony worked together. Right? So
they're pros at that. But we
yeah,
that's the three numbers that we concentrate on our daily reports. It's speed to lead, speed to appointment, and booking rate. That's the three in the call center. That's we make them aware of that every single day. It's actually we have TVs in the call center, and it's all of their numbers are there, but those are the three at the top, right?
yeah,
If they're doing those three things, all the other numbers are going to fall in line. We find like lead issue rate and demo rates and stuff like that.
right,
Yeah. We
right,
pay attention to demo rates too, but that you have to do investigation because that could either be the call center or the sales rep. So
right.
you have to pull calls and listen to Rilla or any type of sales AI software, the recording software. So you have
Sure.
to kind of investigate and get to the bottom of that. But like I said, so those are the three numbers that we find to be very important there. But that was a big win for us in 2025,
Yeah, huge. That's
right?
huge.
As
Yeah.
as Donald Trump would say, huge, huge with a Y.
There's well, yeah, you got Bernie that says it too. So
Oh, does Bernie say huge? Oh, yeah, that's
oh,
right.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. That's the New York guys, right?
yeah,
It's
huge. So,
yeah,
knowing that we hired a brand new marketing director. He started with us in December, so we're pretty
yeah,
excited about him. He came over from a company that was at the next level where we're trying to go to in the next 3 years. So he was working for a larger company, and we were able to get him to jump on board with us and work with us. So we're excited. He has a plan. We talked about the marketing plan and stuff like that. He has all his lead sources, and he had a bunch of other lead sources that we were not aware of that he's worked with in the past that he likes. So right now he's a little less than a month in, but we'll see. I like to typically give those guys 90 days just to kind of get a good read on where they are. But everything
hmm
right now looks positive. Sales, I didn't check this morning because admittedly I just got back in, but I believe we're up. I believe we're up over 8 days in this year. We're up 50% over last year.
Hey,
Um,
all right.
yeah,
So you're on target to forecast, or are you pacing towards forecast for January or ahead of forecast?
we're pacing. We're a little above. Yep, yep.
Yeah, that's great.
So leads have been a little slow, but we've been selling. So just because I think we're onboarding this new marketing director and he's basically giving him control, and obviously we're working with him. Uh,
hmm
but I think it's going to take a few weeks to ramp up. But we're up in sales. So at the end of the day, that's my scorecard, right?
Yeah.
That in the P&L. We have the plan
So
for growth, and we're hitting it so far 8 days in.
I'm curious about this because we talk about the marketing, head of marketing in a home improvement company. It always kind of goes towards demand gen, and at the end of the day, demand gen, and I don't even know if you call it demand gen, but
Lead
that's how we
generation.
refer to it. Lead generation, yeah. So we typically refer to it, in the SaaS world as demand gen. Um, but are there what other things are they working on besides lead generation? Is there other like aspects of the marketing role when it comes to a company like Men with Tools?
Besides lead generation, I
Yeah.
mean, it's all lead generation. We do take a small part of our budget and we do uh, brand building, right? So that's not necessarily lead generation. So we run some organic uh, social media posting. We're working on SEO. Like this is not lead
Yeah.
generation. It's long term brand building, radio ads. We're going to do some TV ads. We take a portion of the overall budget. We felt like we started to do this last year on the radio and stuff like that, so that
Yeah.
we can make an investment in becoming a household name. Because believe it or not, we still own less than 1% of the market share here in New Jersey. So,
Yeah.
which is really exciting because when you get to 5%, it's significant. I think it's $150 million of market share
Mm.
at 5%. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous market.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
excited about that. So we're starting to invest so we could become a household name. We're on the talk radio stations and stuff like that, the conservative channels, which most of our customers are. Believe
Right.
it or not, there's a bunch of conservatives up here in the Northeast.
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter if you go to even if you go to a deep red state or a deep blue state, there's still a good chunk of people that are the other side of it, and you don't think about that, right? If it's a 60% red state, there's 40% that's not.
Still big. Yeah, still big.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just give you some numbers here on our opportunities, right? Raw leads, we're actually down 55% over, uh, compared to last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Okay.
appointment set, we're down 18%. So again, my marketing director last year, in 2025, I remember he loosened things up a little bit. He was running repair leads, he was running one
Okay.
window leads, so
Yeah.
it was a free for all, right? It upset my sales reps a bit last year because when
Sure.
he'd slow down, and he just decided he was gonna run everything. Because if you look at the appointments, overall, we're down 18%, so
Yeah.
minus 11, right? Leads issued, we're down. Well, the lead th this is a lagging indicator because some of these are booked into tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Demos down, we're down 19% like the appointments, but we're up 86% on jobs sold.
Okay. All right. So you're selling, like you said, you're
So
selling.
revenue, we're up, right? Appointment set rate, up 25%. See,
Okay.
last
Yeah.
year. Lead issue rate is, well, the lead issue rate is, it says it's down 37, but there's a bunch of stuff that hasn't happened today or tomorrow. So it's looking at it. It doesn't count it until it actually issues.
Right.
Demo rate is even up 4%. The close rate is up plus 17%. I mean, I know it's early. NSLI is up 108% this year.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and so we
That's
discovered
about
that
180. 100,
on
you say
the market.
108%?
Yeah, we got an NSLI right now of almost $5,700.
Wow. All right. That's,
This is January 1 to January 9th of 2025. This is what Build the Prime is showing me. So it's really 9 days in.
yeah.
Today's the 9th. We're looking at some very early data, but what I wanted to talk about was, besides discovering the marketing on the call center side,
Mhm.
we did some things differently in the sales department uh,
Yeah.
last year that I think is, well, that I know is contributing to the numbers so far that we see this year. We work with Chuck Toki now as our sales trainer.
Hmm.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. We had Chuck on. So,
We did. We did.
um,
Yes.
Chuck is introduced my sales manager to a concept of doing a daily, like a daily power hour in the morning.
Hmm.
So every morning they jump on a Zoom when they're not here in the office, for an in-person meeting. So they were here Mondays and Fridays for in-person meetings, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're required to jump on a Zoom, and then they just talk about, their opportunities, each one, what went well, what could they have done better. And they all kind of like, we open up that's like an open forum. So we allow them to kind of just give each other feedback, right? So the sales manager will kind of set we'll ask the questions, and then he'll just allow them to debate, and he'll kind of steer the conversation. But it's just
Hmm.
like an open forum for our sales guys to just kind of talk through some of the issues they're seeing, share feedback, give feedback, share best practices and stuff like that. So that's been really helpful. And then at the end of the year, right after Thanksgiving, we did a 6-week boot camp.
Mm, okay.
So we had them in here for 6 weeks, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., 3 hours a day.
So what are you doing? No morning appointments for 6 weeks,
We
or what
Because
is?
it slows down. So it slows down after then. That's naturally our slow period. So we just took 10 a.m.s away and we just moved everything from 2 to 6
Okay.
appointments. Now, if someone only had a 10 a.m., we would fill it, right? We would pull somebody over, but I think that only happened once or twice.
Okay. All
So
right.
we had almost 100% participation in that boot camp, but we stayed very structured. We went back to the basics in the very beginning, the 10-step selling process. Now we worked a lot on like mindset, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot of mindset coaching, a lot of mindset stuff, goal setting, all of that stuff. So it was very productive for us. So
Okay.
felt like by the time we pulled that off the first week, by the time we pulled it, we finished it, we completed it. Like the guys were really ready to go. We saw that in December. We had our best December ever last year. So we saw
Yeah.
that numbers. We had our best December. So we did that. And what we discovered that we were doing wrong in 2025 um, is once we would onboard a sales rep after their initial 90-day, we
Mm-hmm.
would get them in, well, actually, even when they were in training, we would get them in the room with our experienced sales reps on Mondays and Fridays in the in-person meetings. And when I'm meeting with the experienced sales reps, the guys who've been here over a year
Right.
or longer, or the sales manager, we're talking about very advanced techniques, right? So a lot of role playing. It's like, well, I do this, you do that. And what we were finding was we were confusing the hell out of our new reps,
Uh-huh.
right? Because they're just trying to figure out the 10-step selling system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now they still haven't completely absorbed that. Even after 90 days, they may know most of it, but it's just like it's like muscle memory, right? It's like free throw shoot. They've just got to do it a bunch of times to get really good at it. And now they're getting in the room with our experienced guys. They're hearing all of these techniques and things that they've used in the past, and it's like, and we were confusing them. So now we just keep them completely out of the room. Out of the
Okay.
ex We hold
Yeah.
2 different two different sales trainings or classes. So we keep them out until the 6-month period. They're not allowed in the room with the experienced reps until they've been here 6 months or longer. That's it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
a lot of these guys were coming out of training, they start riding along after 30 days, and then they start doing their own appointments after 60, right? But it takes most of them, it takes a good 3 to 6 months to get comfortable with it, right? Look, they should be selling during that time period. Otherwise, unfortunately, you're gonna have to let them go, right? But they
Right.
should be meeting a certain standard,
Right.
right? But you're developing them, you're growing them personally as the sales manager. What we found was we're throwing them in a room with these guys that have been. Some of these guys have been here 5 years. They're just like,
They're getting overwhelmed. They're getting confused. It's not.
overwhelmed. Yeah. And
Yeah.
when we did that, when we separated them, what we do is we just take them and we put them in the conference room. And my sales manager and myself, or my sales manager and Brandon, will separate them. And like myself or Brandon, we'll work with the experienced guys,
Right.
and then we'll allow the sales manager just continue working with the newer reps. And
Yeah.
we're actually next this coming Monday, we actually hired our first sales trainer,
First sales train. So you a dedicated sales trainer
full time
role.
in house, full time dedicated sales trainer. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
trying to add 10 to 15 new sales reps this coming year, 2026.
Okay. And that's double basically, right?
It's double, yeah. So we have 5 people in our January class right now. But 2 or 3 of them will make it, and then you have to develop them. So we want to put 5 to 7 in a class, and we want to try to keep 2 to 3, and we figure we want to grow that way. We don't typically recruit in November and December just because it's unfair to bring them on and then have them start running leads in the slower season.
Hmm. Yeah.
But we typically run classes from January to October, and then we take a
Okay.
2-month break. Although
Yeah.
we are interviewing, and we start interviewing again in December, and we stop interviewing in October, and then we start up in December 30 days before we hold our first class.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we found that works. Like keeping them separate, it allows them to just stay focused, because a lot of it is like advanced negotiating tactics, right? So it's like you have your promotion, right? You have your retail price
Sure.
that you, then you have a promotion, and then you like a marketing agreement or something like that, right?
Sure.
So it's typically 2 drops that we allow, right? And that's what we teach our reps, our new reps. My guys are going in there and they're like, "Well, I don't give the full promotion. Sometimes I give it in 2 or 3 different stages," right? Like,
Hmm.
or they'll call it something else.
Hmm.
So again, there's lots of techniques you can use. Are we really give no, the you know, we're we're still getting charged for the financing. It doesn't matter. But the point
Yeah.
I'm making is, they'll negotiate with a customer 2, 3, 4 drops, and then we're training a new rep. Here's your retail price, here's your promotion, and here's a marketing.
Right.
And they're
Right.
still trying to nail that down.
Right.
And they hear about, this and that, the negotiate this and that, back and forth, the
So,
negotiation that they had, and they're
so
just like,
this 6-week boot camp that you did, right? Did you split that out too? Like that was split between newer reps and more experienced reps, or what?
6 week,
What was
6 week, the 6 week boot camp was just for our experienced reps.
was just for the experienced reps?
Yes, yes,
Is
yes.
this something that you're going to do regularly? You're
Every
going to
single
repeat
year, every
every
single
year?
year, from Thanksgiving to New Year's, with something we're going to do every single
I think
year
that's great.
moving
Yeah.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
like
this
I
way,
said,
the less experienced ones can kind of graduate into
well, the
it.
less experienced, the less experienced ones are still in some form of a class. They have
Mm.
a boot camp all the time,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It's the
Yeah.
experienced reps that they come in on a Monday. Mondays are not, uh, they're optional. Most of them do come in on Mondays, but Fridays they will have to be there. So
Yeah.
they're coming in, 1, 2 days a week. My experienced reps. So I haul their asses in here for 6 weeks at the end of the year and say, you have to be here. It's
All right.
required.
So big difference. So from September on. I mean, obviously, you're still focusing on the appointment set rates and speed to lead and speed to appointment, and it made a big impact in the last quarter of 2025. This year and this quarter, you're expecting to see a big impact in terms of close rate and SLI, and you're seeing
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah. So like I said, close rates up 17%, appointment set rates up 25%, NSLI is up 108% right now,
There you go.
right?
That's an ROI right there.
Just making these little changes, right? These little tweaks. I've been running 5, 8, $10 million company for the last 5 years. When did I start? 2020. I did my first 5. And then, to 2024, I did almost 10. So it's just like, it was that slow growth for 5 years. And it's just like, you think you're running a good business, and you are running a good business. And you go to the conferences, you go to the events, you hear about it, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to put that into practice. But then you find a way, you hire the right person that can actually track the data, put the data in front of the people, actually hold them accountable to it. And it's like, oh, that's a really big change. Another
Hmm.
thing that we did too with the sales staff, in the past, we struggled to set up a rehash department.
Hmm.
So going back to some of our demo no sales and
Yep.
reselling them. So we've tried to hire a full-time rehash person, and we could never make that work, right? So we finished the year with 10 full-time sales reps this year. Even last year, from like March to July, I had a full-time rehash person in there,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And that's like my second or third attempt, just rehash, just rehash. It just didn't work. It just, for whatever reason, it didn't work. When he had left, he basically gave us 2 weeks, and we were fine with that because his numbers were abysmal. And they should be good typically when you're doing rehash. We didn't want to give up on it. So we got together. This is in July when everything's going on with the call center. We said, well, what can we do so that we can continue to run rehash without losing, these extra sales every month? And Brandon came up with the idea. Is like, you know what? He said, we don't need a full-time guy. Just have one of the other reps run the salesperson's appointment. So if
Oh,
Ray runs an appointment and he
yeah.
can't sell it, don't have Ray rerun it. Send Mike, send Will, right? And then the same thing, send Ray to Will's appointments. And what
Yeah.
we do is we pay him at a slightly lower commission, which they're cool with. But they're only there typically, they're not there 60 to 90 minutes. They're there on average 30 minutes.
But that's if you're setting the point. So first you got to set something for them to go back.
Yes. Yep. So, and again, we rolled that in. We rolled that into to the call center.
Yeah. I mean, first you got to get
Yep.
those go back appointments.
Okay. Rehash appointment setting rules. So rehash may be called 48 hours after the original appointment was run. Right. So we give them 2 days to cool down. Some people call the next day. Some people call out longer. We like 48 hours. That works for us. Must be booked in the same times, regular time slots, 10, 2, and 6. It's saying it should be highlighted yellow on the lead sheet so that they know it's a rehash opportunity. Again, just like regular appointments, all decision makers must be present. 30 to 45 minutes must be set aside. Rehash calls may only be made on your assigned rehash day unless approved by a manager. So we cycle that out. We assign them, right? Target price must be within 25% of last offered price. Review the proposal before calling. So, for example, if we've given a price for 10,000 and they're like, well, I was only expecting 5,000. If we're that far off, we try to bring the number up. We don't really talk much about numbers, but we try to make sure we're setting a decent rehash lead. We could probably do that better too. Emphasize potential rebates, design options, and labor discounts, right? So if you followed the script and it confirmed that price is the issue and only want to meet over the phone, typically review that with the sales manager. Only offer the phone review if they're 100% clear price is the only issue. They refuse an in-person visit even after rebuttal. So, okay, so friendly opener and quality check. So here's a script. Hi, customer first name. This is, John calling from Windows and Doors by the Memo Tools. I'm one of the project coordinators here. How's it going today? And then it says wait for an answer. Says, I'm just going over the notes from your visit yesterday. I wanted to make sure we did our part okay. Just a couple of quick questions for you, if you don't mind. Okay. Quality control. So we start with quality control.
Mhm.
Was our sales rep on time for the appointment? Were they polite and professional in your home? Did they evaluate the project thoroughly and walk you through everything clearly? Did they leave you with a final price quote to consider? Were all your questions answered? Now, typically, at some point, this is when this was more than I thought it was going to be question comes up.
Mhm.
And then from there, price objection discovery, totally understandable. That's something we hear a lot. We hear from some folks out of curiosity. Where did you expect the investment to land? Typically, what were you hoping or budgeting for originally? These are just some lines. Were you comparing us to another company or quote? So we're discovering, right? The price objection discovery.
Right.
And then we have what's called the opportunity pivot. Shooting you straight, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. I'd hate for something like a number to be a reason we can't earn your business. I want to have our lead project coordinator come out. They have access to current rebate incentives and may also adjust certain product types, installation strategies, or design elements to reduce your cost without sacrificing what matters most to you. It's not another long appointment. We'd only need 30 to 45 minutes max. And we just want to make sure you and the other party are available so we can give you the best possible offer on the spot. Does that sound fair? So that's pivoting, right? That's trying to set.
Yeah.
That's the script. That's what we're using there. We're allowing our sales reps to run other sales reps appointments.
Yeah.
And we close those now at about 50% of all rehash opportunities.
50%. Okay. That's what percentage of demo no sales are you setting to go back?
So we have a 10% goal. So if we demo no sale 100 appointments in a month, if we have 100 demo no sales in a month, we
Mhm.
want to go back and visit at least 10% or more, 10%
Okay.
or more.
Yeah.
To get in 10 of those homes.
Yeah.
And these are just numbers. Again, we're still figuring it out, but this is from going to the Success Society, talking to Tony and Megan. I know these are the numbers. Can we do better? Yes, but we're working on it, right? But 10% of our sales revenue is attributed to rehash every single month. That's
Right.
significant, you
That
know.
that yeah.
10
That's
million is $1 million in rehash. 12 million is 1.2. So you got to have it, right?
right. Right. Yeah.
And we give a further discount there, right? Because it's we just look at it as like an opportunity cost, right? Yes,
yeah.
rather than getting a 65% margin, we'll take a 55 on this. But at the end of the day, we already spent money for the lead,
Right.
right? We
Yeah.
already spent money.
Just figure your lead cost, right? I mean, if you take your lead cost out of finding a brand new lead,
Mhm.
you're probably not losing money by going back and getting a little bit lower profit margin.
There are some efficiencies there too by, even though you're giving away 10 points as a discount, now up to 10 points. It could be we have them negotiate that to 5 to 10%. We pay them a flat commission, which is lower than the normal commission rate on Rehash, which they're happy with. And actually, they actually enjoy running Rehash leads for whatever reason. I think it's because they get to kind of like talk smack to each other during the morning call, like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I met with this customer and, oh, here's what you did. And this is what they said about you. Ha ha. There's a good camaraderie, within that
That's
sales
great.
department. Yeah. The
Yeah.
culture is really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all friendly and yeah, and same thing in the call center. When we 86 that call center last year, all the people we have, if it, Brandon and I were saying this a couple of days ago at lunch, if we invited those people that we let go back in the summer to see our company now, they would walk in and be like, "What the hell?" Like with just the culture has completely changed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
that's
awesome.
important.
Yeah.
That's important.
The friend, like some friendly, healthy competition, which is really good.
Friendly, healthy. They're all working. So again, a lot of it is the vision and the goal, right? So they're all working. So we up the mission statements went up on the board. The vision statements they went up on all the walls in every room that we have here. They're even in the break room. We talk about the mission statement. We talk about the vision statement. We talk about the goals, the plan. The plan for 2026, where we're going, why we're going there, right?
Yeah.
So the communication. So we're all rowing in the same direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where first half of last year, some of us were rowing in different directions. The boat was just doing 360s. So yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
Brian Gottlieb said, this always sits well with me, and I remember, and this is why I made the decision. It's okay to be wrong, just don't be wrong for long, right? And
right.
I knew I had some people in there that I had to let go for cultural reasons. And I just went in there and one day and we just cut it. It's like you know what? We got to get rid of it. We'll figure it out because it's like a cancer, it metastasizes, right? The longer you
Yeah.
leave it, the more it spreads in other departments. I just cut it all out and that was it, and then we we got rid of it and we rebuilt and it's incredible. It's fun to show up to work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So yeah, we'll have to keep tabs on how these numbers are continuing to progress as we go through the year. But
Yeah, well, we have a goal for 50% growth this year.
50%. Yeah.
50%,
That's
yeah.
that's heavy. That's heavy.
It's heavy, but we're gonna spend the money too. We're gonna invest the money on the marketing to do it, and we're investing in the marketing. We're investing in the recruiting, sales reps, installers. We're already working that plan, right? We already like we talked about on a few podcasts ago. It's like how many people do we need in the sales department? How many people do we need in the marketing department, call center? How many people
Hmm.
do we need in the production department, installation department? So
Yeah.
the managers are already working on that, right? So they're out in front of it. They're interviewing. They're being proactive rather than reactive, and like I said, they all know what the the 2026 is supposed to look like. So,
Yeah.
yep,
Awesome. Well, I think we, as per usual, we went a little bit longer than we had intended, but this was, man, there's some gold in there, right? Especially, I love when we got to the rehash and going through the rehash script, and man, that's just gold. So, I hope the people listening to this or watching this
speaking of gold, I bought my sales staff a gold belt and a gold axe,
a gold. I'm sorry, a
a
gold
gold
belt,
belt, a gold belt
like a champion, like a fantasy football championship gold belt
championship.
type thing.
It's an 8 pounder, right? It says top salesperson of the month, right?
Yeah.
They got an axe for the top rehash salesperson. So yeah, every month we have fun. We just give it, top revenue, the sales rep that sells the most revenue, we give them the belt, and the sales rep that sells the most rehashes, we give them the axe, and they get to walk in with it, and they bust each other's chops, have fun, blah blah blah. They hold the belt, so we just make it fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We have a little thing, like actually we have a little thing with Builder Prime with that too. Each quarter we have somebody who like wins an award for exuding one of our four main elements of our core values.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever wins the award for that quarter, we send them a golden hammer. So we've got a
Ah,
similar type of thing. Yeah.
golden hammer. I'm in my office. I wish it's in the sales office on the other side. But let me just show you my office real quick. Just to show. I'm going to take this around here, and you can see vision statement, mission statement. That's even in my office, right? That's
Yeah.
in every single office, every single room, even in the break room in the company, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like I said, it's just clearly communicating the vision, the mission, where we're going, getting good people, man. It's really what it is. And it's okay. Like I went to the Success Society meeting in November and I spoke to Vince Nardo,
Yeah.
legend, right? And
Yeah.
obviously Scott Berman and Brian Kaskavalsian. And they told me, and these Vince Nardo and Scott, these guys have 100 or had, one has and one had 150 plus $1 million companies. And they
Right.
both said it's completely normal to go through your executive management team. It's like by the time, you know, Vince, I believe Vince said by the time he was done before he sold, he made three, four, or five changes, right? So it's okay, right? To just continue to grow, replace the people. That's a hard decision to make.
It is. It's tough. It is tough. This is like,
Yeah.
that's the hardest part.
Because you get
So,
to know them, right? And they're not necessarily bad people. They just kind of get capped out at that level for whatever reason.
yep.
You made a couple of those changes too, huh?
Yeah. There have been a couple. There have been a couple. Yeah. I mean, and, we're, in some cases, we're just bringing in some new leadership positions. We just hired a chief revenue officer who starts on Monday. So, to try to help us get to that next level, right? So that's the idea.
Marketing too, right? You made marketing change, revenue officer, right?
Yeah, we're looking right now for a new head of marketing,
Oof.
um, new head of customer experience. So yeah, we're
But you've grown substantially in the last 2-3 years.
we did 2 rounds of funding. So the first one was in 2023. We did the main rounds of funding anyway. We did the Series A, and we grew at that point like 1.3 million, I think, when or 1.3, 1.5 million. Um,
You were 1.3 to 1.5 million top line at that time.
Top line, yep,
Yep.
in annual recurring revenue.
Uh huh.
And that was in like May of 2023. And then we did another round here in July of 2025. That was our Series B, and we were somewhere in the 6 million vicinity.
That's significant. Yeah.
So
But you've grown.
yeah, yeah, and when we back with the first round, we had 6 people, including myself, and I don't know where we were at exactly when we did the Series B, but right now we're somewhere in the 60s, right?
Oh,
So it's it's a big change.
oh my God.
Yeah, and
60 employees. God bless you. Oh,
we'll probably get close to 100 this year, something like that.
really?
Maybe a little less, but
Can you share your projected revenue, what you want to do for 2026?
we're locking it in now. So we're looking to do about 65% year over year growth
Okay.
compared to where we ended December. So
Do you want to
um,
share what you did in December, or is that
yeah, we ended at about 7.5
oh,
in full value. We're calling the full value ARR. So if we did 7.5, and so we're looking at probably somewhere in, again, we're still locking it in right now, hopefully finalizing it in the next couple of weeks. So that puts us at somewhere around 12 and a half,
65% year over year, huh? And that's
65%.
ooh,
To get something around there.
that is aggressive, man.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
I stay in my lane here, man, just replacing windows and doors. I mean, so like we mentioned in the past, but we're at 50%. We're shooting for 50% this
Which
year,
is massive.
which is massive.
Yeah.
That's aggressive. That's really aggressive. Typically we're shooting for around 25 to 30% year over year,
hmm
but 50% makes me uncomfortable. You're shooting for 65. God bless you.
Yeah, we'll have to get into some of the things that we've got planned for this year. And
Well, luckily you're still a young man, so
trying to stay young.
the challenges of running a business, huh?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty much the same thing though, right? They're very similar, right? You obviously know our business, the construction business. I mean, maybe the terms are a little bit differently, but you're still marketing, right? You're still selling.
yeah. It's very similar. Yeah, still very similar. We have we still have to produce the product and um, market, sell it, support our customers. It's a lot of similarities.
They pay you guys the multiple on your top line revenue, and we
Yes.
get paid on our EBITDA on the net profit. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but that's because you have ARR, right? You have annual.
It's recurring, and you have to have a certain level of gross profit. And yeah,
And
so
margins are typically higher in your business, correct? Typically.
yes, yeah, so right, exactly. That's why we're looking at the gross profit margin, and it's the margins are higher, and you have a recurring revenue.
That's
So
phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, unless you could figure out a way to create some, ARR in a construction company,
service contracts and
service contracts. I know the heating and air conditioning, that's why PE is all over those guys. They love them, right?
yeah,
So service contracts with HVAC companies, plumbing companies. I would imagine you could probably even do something with like a nice handyman company, right? Running a handyman service?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's e- even our
Think about all the
we have
things
somebody
you
we bring in for legal, and he went off and ventured on his own. The main attorney that we worked with, and so we're still working with him. And even he went to a recurring model instead of just an hourly rate, right? So it's the recurring is it's
they
powerful.
they may not in my industry, they may not pay you on the top line like they do with you guys, but that may increase your multiple from, the average company gets anywhere between a 6 and 8 right now, multiple on EBITDA in my industry.
Uh huh.
And if you got some ARR, I'm sure that multiple will go up.
Yeah.
They'll look at
Yeah.
you differently. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe that's something to work on in the upcoming year. And it's an idea for maybe it's a good idea for our listeners.
Yeah. For
All
sure.
right,
All
Jonathan.
right.
Well, like I said, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, you guys got some value out of that, right? And John, take us away.
Yeah. Good to be with you again, John. Thanks everybody for listening, and look forward to having you back again next time.